Hola, buenas tardes a todos y a todas. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos hoy. Estoy yo personalmente muy emocionada de estar aquí con Northwestern hoy, con la Pritzker School of Law, porque estamos estrenando convenio con el LLM. Este es un convenio que les da una beca de $20,000 si son elegidos y si son becarios FUNED. Entonces, es algo que hace la matrícula mucho más alcanzable para ustedes y que el sueño de estudiar en una de las mejores universidades y vivir en una ciudad increíble como es Chicago sea más alcanzable. Tenemos aquí con nosotros a la directora del programa y de admisiones y a su asistente que nos van a platicar sobre el programa y sobre Chicago y Northwestern en general. Si tienen dudas, al final podemos hacer una sesión de preguntas y respuestas. Pero bueno, no me vinieron a oír hablar a mí, las vinieron a oír hablar a ellas, entonces los dejo con ellas. So I was just saying that we're very honored to have you here today because we're celebrating our new partnership. And we want a lot of students to benefit from it. So it's a good time and place to hear from Northwestern, from you guys firsthand about the Pritzker School of Law and Chicago and what it means to live there, et cetera, et cetera. So without further ado, no one wants to hear what I have to say, so I'll leave you to it.
Thank you so much, Sophia, and welcome everybody that's here today. We are also very excited about this partnership and about telling you more about Northwestern Pritzker School of Law and our LLM program. I'm joined today, my name is Mary Beth Busby, and I'm the Director of Graduate and International Program Admissions. I'm joined today by my colleague, Gina Song, who is the Assistant Director of International Student Engagement. So I am going to share my screen. I have a little PowerPoint to present. Can everybody see that okay? Wonderful. All right. So a little bit about the law school. First, if you are considering an LLM program in the United States and are looking at schools of Northwestern's caliber and above, it goes without saying that you're going to get a very good education. You know, all of us have wonderful faculty and strong curriculums and all of those things that you can expect to find academically. So I would like to focus more on what I think makes Northwestern unique among its peers, the things that kind of make Northwestern different and make it stand out. So one of those things is the curriculum, also the faculty, our strong community, student support, which my colleague Gina will talk a lot about, and then our location in Chicago. We do have a few programs for international lawyers. We have a general LLM program, and we also have specialized programs in tax and in international human rights. Today, though, I'm going to focus on our general LLM program. It is our most popular program. We enroll approximately 150 students in the program each year from all across the globe. So it's a very international program. Some hallmarks of this program is that it's very integrated with the JD students, both inside and outside of the classroom. So in addition to, establishing this network of international lawyers, you also get to interact with students who will be practicing at the top levels in law firms and government agencies in the United States. Our curriculum is very flexible, and it does provide the opportunity for students in the general program to qualify to take the New York bar exam. And I know that that is a goal of many of our students, and we try to help you achieve that through the curriculum and other ways as well. Speaking of the curriculum, and I mentioned earlier that it is quite flexible. Students in the general program take only 2 required courses. There is a common law reasoning course, which in addition to sort of introducing common law to you is also a legal research and writing course. So it helps you kind of develop that, your legal English research and writing skills. After those 2 courses, everything else is elective. So you are basically picking and choosing from the more than 300 electives that we offer to our JD students each year. We do have a few concentrations within the curriculum, and especially those that appeal to our international students would be corporate law, civil litigation and dispute resolution. We also have a concentration in intellectual property and technology law, international law, and environmental law. Now, the curriculum is rich in other areas as well. For instance, we have students in the program that are interested in labor and employment law or healthcare law. And be rest assured that regardless of what your academic and career interests are, the curriculum at Northwestern will have robust offerings in that area. I think another unique feature of our program is that students in the general LLM program have the opportunity to take business courses through the MBA program at Kellogg. And students have a few different options for these courses. The evening program of Kellogg is right next door to the law school. So that makes for an easy option if you want to take classes with MBA students. You also have the opportunity to travel up to Evanston. It's about 15 kilometers from our downtown campus in Chicago, and take classes with the full-time MBA students that are up on the main campus of Northwestern. And then finally, we offer the option for you to take courses from Kellogg professors, but this is part of the law school curriculum. So it's basically business, but it's taught through the lens of law, which makes it all very relevant to your interests and your practice. And for those courses, it would just be with other law students. I think that it's kind of good because it doesn't assume a level of knowledge of business that you may or may not have. So those are a few options in terms of the curriculum. Another great aspect of the program is our community. And for this portion, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Gina, who works directly with the LLM students to help enrich kind of the non-academic side of the experience. So Gina?
Hi, everyone. My name is Gina Song. It's great to meet you. I like to say I work with the fun stuff of the LLM program, and so the stuff outside of the classrooms. And so I'll talk a little bit about community here. And so like Mary Beth said, you'll be fully integrated with the JD students, besides those two required LLM only courses. And so you have the full experience there. And then next we have accessible faculty. It's kind of expected of you to ask questions if anything is unclear. Each of the faculty members have office hours, which you are more than welcome to visit. Again, if you have any questions, concerns about what you're learning or not understanding, you are more than welcome to reach out to faculty members here. Student activities, this one's pretty big. We have over 40 different student organizations that ranges from kind of affinity groups to things like a labor and employment student group. In each of those, or in most of those student organizations, there is an LLM leadership position. And so a lot of our LLM students will take advantage of those positions within the student organizations. It's also a great way to just meet with JD students and other students from different programs here too, just kind of in a more informal and casual setting. And so we always encourage our students to take advantage of that. There's also the Student Bar Association, which is also kind of our student government and there's always a LLM representative within the Student Bar Association. And so that is just one position. And so you would run for that, and if voted, you would get the position. And then I also work closely with the LLM committee. And so that's comprised of a small group of LLM students who want to plan academic, social, or professional events for the LLM class, but also for the entire student body at Northwestern Law. And so in a few weeks, we're doing, the LLM committee is planning an event with the Asian student group, and they're doing a Lunar New Year activity. And so those are more of the fun things that they get to do outside of the classrooms. In terms of community service, we have a dedicated person at the law school that works with students on community service and pro bono work. You'll hear about this starting day one. If not, you might receive emails before about the community service opportunities here at the law school. And if you complete 15 or more hours, you'll be recognized at graduation, which is kind of special. There's a special luncheon, and you get to bring your family, or your family members as well. And then lastly, the Alumni Mentorship Program. This is a newer program that we've been working on, but this is really for our students to connect with an alum of the LLM program to learn about their experience while a student here, how, and then after their LLM, so how they found their job, things of that sort. So that's a one-on-one mentorship, and that's been pretty popular here too. On the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about the ACE program. And so the ACE program exemplifies Northwestern Law's holistic support services just for our LLM students. And so if you ever hear about ACE while you're a student here, it applies to you, the LLMs. And so A stands for academic, C for curricular, career, cultural, E, English, excellence. And so we don't ever remember each of those, just ACE, and it's a kind of a holistic thing. And so we'll start with A, academic excellence. And so we have JD advisors. These are upper level JD students who are there to support LLM students academically. And so they'll hold workshops throughout the academic year where you can learn about outlining, exam preparation, study skills. And so they've been very helpful for our LLM students. Curricular advising. And so like Mary Beth said, there's over 300 plus, JD electives here, plus the Kellogg courses. So it can be a little bit overwhelming when choosing courses, right? Certainly if you have to take the bar exam, that kind of, gives you a little bit more structure when choosing a course. But we have Adi Altschiller, who's the Dean of International Programs, who's here to help you kind of with anything curricular related. And so she's there before the LLM program starts and of course throughout the year. E for English excellence, there's a writing fellow program. Again, this is with upper level JD students to help you with your writing. If you have any papers coming up, they can help you review them. Speaking practice opportunities, and we have more of an informal, some more informal events where you can where we can put you in like discussion groups, and so you can practice your English with classmates here, and then debate groups as well if you're a little bit more competitive and would like to argue and do that. There's workshops, anything from grammar or language related, and then ESL software. We have a special pronunciation software that students can use, and then private ESL consultation. So with all of this English excellence with ESL, we have a dedicated person. Her name's Nell Navarra, who will help you with your English language skills and abilities. And so she's here for you for all of these kind of programs, the writing fellow, speaking practice, workshops, but also if you need to just talk to her one-on-one, she's always available to take appointments. If you have, a different kind of concern or special concern, she's there to help you with that as well. And then career excellence, we have a full-time LM career advisor. Her name's Natalie Bautista, and she's dedicated in helping you to find or in helping you, interview and helping you review resumes, and then of course individual counseling. They'll also hold workshops throughout the year on these kind of same topics, right? And I think we have an interview event coming up, and so it's a little bit more geared towards that and networking. And so anything from interview, resume to LinkedIn, Natalie can help you with. On this topic, though, I do want to stress that the actual job search is done by students. And so it takes a lot of time and work, especially if you want to work in the US. And so Natalie, the career advisor, is here to help you. But a lot of the work is certainly done by the students. And then lastly, the Public Interest Center. Again, many ways to get involved in the law school if you want to pursue public interest. Also a career advisor for that. And then there's a special student organization. There's the public interest student group, I believe, which you get involved in as well and learn more about those opportunities. And so I think that concludes my topics.
Back to me. So that was a little bit about the school itself and the LLM program. I want to talk a little bit about what I think is a really big selling point of the school, and that is our location in Chicago. Chicago is the third largest city in the United States, and also its third largest legal market. So this provides both professional and cultural opportunities for our students. And I think our location within the city is also very enviable. You can see in this picture, and also kind of over my shoulder, we're right on Lake Michigan, but also within walking distance to so many things that you would want to take advantage of. Museums, bars and restaurants, shopping, other cultural activities, and also fairly close to, the stadiums where our sports teams play. So we obviously have the Chicago Bulls for basketball, the Bears for football, and then baseball, the Cubs and the White Sox. So many opportunities for you to basically just experience culture within the United States. Also, as a student, you will get what we call a Ventra card. And this is a card that allows you to ride our public transportation free of charge while class is in session. So this really kind of expands, the areas that you can explore. And Chicago is pretty big, both in terms of the size of the population, but also in its landmass. So, we have a very extensive bus and rail system. So, the Ventra card will kind of help you explore a little bit more. Something that can't be discounted is the fact that Chicago is very, very affordable. And even within our area, which is probably the most expensive part of Chicago, you really can find affordable housing. And I think Chicago is probably the most affordable large city in the US, certainly more so than, New York, DC, San Francisco, Boston, any of those areas. Chicago, you're going to get a little bit more for your money. And I guess one other thing about sort of the campus area is it's also one of the safest parts of Chicago. So I know sometimes the news of Chicago, is a little bit of crime, but from where we're located, it's a pretty safe area. And finally, people are friendly. It's kind of known as Midwestern charm, but people in the Midwest and in Chicago are very friendly, which I think is nice for an international student who may be visiting the US for the first time. And finally, I want to talk a little bit about the admissions process. And I know that we're kind of in the middle of the application process. And I don't know if the people here are interested in applying this year or if you're looking at future years, but regardless, the process will be the same. Our application does run through LSAC, which is the Law School Admission Council. And you can access the applications for basically every LLM program in the United States through LSAC. So it's a nice resource. We do require that students apply through that platform though. At Northwestern, we do offer the option to interview as a part of your application process. It is not a very onerous or time-consuming task, but it does let us learn a little bit more about you, about your goals and motivations, about your interests and things like that. So I would encourage you to do it. It's a really great way to introduce yourselves to us. We do admit on a rolling basis, and that means we just sort of review applications as they become complete. So our application opens every year on September 1st. Don't feel compelled to, apply that early, but it's better if you can apply, by November or December before the application deadline when we get kind of the bulk of our applications. The deadline for applying is January 15th, though we are a little bit flexible. So if you are, here now and are considering still attending in the fall of 2023, we could extend the deadline a little bit for you. And finally, scholarships. And this is where I'm very excited to be partnered with Sophia and FUNED, because I know that the cost of attendance can be, quite daunting. So for us, we have agreed to provide a scholarship to applicants who receive FUNED of $30,000, and that's a baseline. You know, we do have flexibility to provide a little bit more if you need that, but we do that on a rolling basis as well. So I guess I'll pause there. We've given you a lot of information in a very short period of time, and see if you all have questions for me. Here, I'll stop the share so we can sort of see each other too.
Thank you very much. That it always makes me want to go and apply to another master's when I hear the webinars, but especially Chicago. I mean, I would love to have studied there.
That's
so
awesome.
We have
it is a
question.
wonderful city.
Yeah, we have a question on the chat. It says,
Okay.
It's from Erandi Catalina. It says, does the university offer on-house?
Yeah, this is a great question. And unfortunately, the answer to that is no. But I would say that, you know, where we're located, you can kind of see from the picture behind me, there are so many condominiums and apartment buildings that are within walking distance. And in fact, there are a few that almost are like de facto dorms because there are so many Northwestern students that live within them. So while we don't offer on-campus housing, we do offer assistance in that area. So for students who are admitted, we do a whole webinar on finding, you know, suitable apartments within the area. We also offer a service called Student Space. And this is free of charge to incoming students. And basically you can meet with the director of that program and talk about where you want to be geographically, you know, what your cost range would be, and then what other amenities you're looking for. And he can help you find a suitable apartment. And finally, we do connect admitted students with our current students. And that's a great way to get more information about, you know, particular buildings or particular areas of Chicago. You know, we can connect you with our students from Mexico, you know, so you can get kind of firsthand information about, you know, what might be a suitable place for you to live. So that was a really long answer to your question, but we do try really hard. We know it's difficult not being physically present to try to find suitable housing. So we do what we can to assist.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, if anybody else has questions, you could just unmute and ask them of us directly. We're happy to answer any questions that you have.
Anyone else have a question? It's a good opportunity to hear firsthand from people in charge of getting students over there.
While we wait, I'll just put my email address into the chat. And so anybody can feel free to email me directly. I can also connect you with our students from Mexico as well, if you'd like to speak with them. So generally speaking, outside of this partnership with FUNED, we award our scholarships on a rolling basis. So we do not require applicants to submit an additional application or form to be considered. Rather, if you're admitted to the program, you're automatically under consideration. So when we're making those awards, we take a few things into consideration. It's partly based on merit. So for that, we're looking at the same things that we look at for admission, you know, so your academic performance, your work experience, your letters of recommendation, things like that. That would fall into the merit category. We also look at need. And while we don't have a separate application to get that information, we do ask about it in the application itself, sort of your sources of funding and how much you could contribute. So we take that into consideration. I think the other factor is the country from which you're coming. You know, currencies fluctuate and exchange rates fluctuate, and we do try to take that into account. You know, there are certain applicants from certain countries who won't be able to come without considerable aid, while other countries, you know, the exchange rate is more favorable. So those are kind of the things that we take under consideration, and all of that with the caveat that we do have this arrangement with FUNED for a set scholarship.
If you don't mind, I want to talk a little bit about the FUNED scholarship. I will do
Please,
this in
yeah,
Spanish.
absolutely.
So les voy a platicar tantito cómo funciona rápido el financiamiento FUNED. En FUNED, una vez que ya tienen su carta de aceptación de Northwestern, aplican al financiamiento, es crédito beca, de lo que les prestamos, digamos que les prestamos $30,000, 27,000 es un crédito y 3,000 son beca a fondo perdido de parte de FUNED. Adicional a eso, si se les da el crédito FUNED, Northwestern les va a dar una beca en automático de $20,000. Entonces es una gran oportunidad porque cubren parte de su financiamiento con este combo. Digamos que ya tendrían $50,000 y de los cuales 23,000 serían, pues digamos que gratis. Entonces es una buena oportunidad para aprovechar esta beca que tenemos aquí. That's it. So how much are the tuition fees? You already answered that.
I did, yep.
And then Day Sanchez, everything was amazing. I really appreciate all the effort in this presentation. Gracias a FUNED por este foro. Thank you, Day, for the comment.
I'm happy to leave my email address as well if anyone has any questions about student life or anything I discussed here.
So thank you. So there's a question for me, I guess. Can I apply to the FUNED scholarship if I was admitted but have to take the pre-course? So you can apply. We do ask for an unconditional letter of acceptance. Sometimes we do take conditional letters when they have these conditions, that you have to take the pre-course and you're already enrolled in it. So you definitely can apply for FUNED funding. Our program opens at the beginning of February. So I advise you all to be very checking social media on our webpage to see the dates when we're gonna open the admissions.
And can I just say one thing about that conditional admission? If they complete that course, they're admitted. So it isn't, if they don't do well or whatever, there's not a chance that they wouldn't be able to enroll. We know that they can do the work. They just need a little bit of extra help with language skills. So, and Gina, we didn't talk about that. We have a program called LEAF, and it's Legal English and Foundations, and it takes place about a month before classes begin. And first of all, it's excellent preparation for anybody, regardless of what your language skills are. It really goes through all of the things that you'll be doing, academically during the program, with a focus on helping you, bring language skills up to speed. So that program routinely gets rave reviews, and I'm happy to connect anybody who's interested with our current students who did go through the summer program. And it's just fun to be in Chicago in the summer when the weather is nice and all sorts of things are going on. So, and Gina put the link in to that course. So I recommend it to everybody. So that's just my plug for that. But again, there's no chance of them not being able to enroll.
Perfect. Anyone else? ¿Alguien más quiere preguntar algo? Okay, so I guess that's it. If anyone else has any questions, you have Mary Beth and Gina's emails, and you also have FUNED contact. So do not hesitate to get in touch and ask away. We will be sharing this presentation on our webpage. So if you know anyone interested that might benefit from watching, just let them know that at the end of the week, it's going to be there. And I just want to thank everyone for listening and for being here, and especially Mary Beth and Gina for your time and presentation.
Thank you so much. It was our pleasure, and I hope to be in touch with many of you over the next year or so.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Bye. Adiós.
Bye.
Gracias.